flavor. Let's take a look at the game of Richie, as you say, and Magnus. Now, this is strange because Richie is playing correct chess. And
Yes.
you always think to yourself, how good would these creative players play or be if they just played, good, solid chess that everybody understands. And I actually think he's got a good position. Let's see what happened from the opening. We left it early. Okay, white fianchettos both of his bishops, and this is all very standard stuff. Queen goes to b1 with the very direct idea of a little grabbing some space on the queen side with the expansion b4. Bishop drops back to h7, also very standard, and there we have it. b4 takes, queen b6, bishop c3, takes. And now it seems to me Magnus really doesn't want to see doesn't want to see white getting a grip over the d4 and e5 squares. c4, c5 is some kind of a strategic threat that he was concerned about. Hence, he took the pawn on b4 at a cost. White won back his pawn and brought his rook to the 7th rank.
With some small dividends, you could say.
Yeah. So, more active position at the moment. Then e5, because again, you've got to get some compensation, or maybe trying to mix it up a bit with a move e5. Well, Richard, I was watching while we were on break, very quickly answered d4, and you could see that Magnus, in his body posture, was like,
good move.
Magnus avoided e4, locking down this bishop. You don't really lock down the bishop. The knight will jump to e5. This bishop will come out to a nice diagonal.
Talking about which bishop is really locked out, it's more likely to be black's bishop, unless you get time to, let's say, play bishop to f5.
Back to f5.
But again, c5 is one of those ideas as well that you have to be watching. Your c-pawn might become a little weak.
Exactly.
So e4 is not a move that appeals to me visually either.
No, and it didn't appeal to Magnus either. He played... Sorry. After d4, he took on d4, and this is the current position. So the question is, how is Richard thinking about his move? How is Magnus intending to meet the recapture knight takes d4? I actually think that given the choice, I would prefer to play white.
Initially, yes, but I figured that maybe here this could become sharp if black is able to play c6, c5.
Okay,
of course,
kind of the key challenge in the position you're saying.
Of course, you're going to play knight b5.
Indeed,
understood.
I am.
But just if you were to play knight f3 back,
yes,
this would be a major achievement for black, who can now shut down a lot of activity with d4, and also the e-pawn suddenly becomes a little bit of a weakness. So,
Yes.
So positionally, this is like the dream for black, who now enjoys very easy play with rook e8, and also, of course, we see the bishop, truly a great piece now.
On h7.
Yeah. So c5 is a very challenging move.
Right.
The problem is white's going to try to maintain pressure on d5, not letting that pawn slip up to d4 by playing knight to b5 with a tempo.
Exactly.
Now, the problem for black is, okay, if you play a move like queen to e6, at least there's c takes d5, and you get that somewhat scattered pawn structure, which normally speaking, this should be an achievement for white. Also, it looks very scary with black's pieces being a little bit all over the place.
Right.
So it becomes very, very direct chess. Queen c6 is the other option, but that stands right into the pin that black is trying to play d4, which won't be possible anymore. So this gives white a moment to think about how to increase the pressure.
Maybe
queen a7 looks like a beautiful move for that.
Yeah. And like you say, I mean, black feels like he's really gummied himself up by putting himself... Grandmasters do not walk into self-pins.
No,
they avoid them for very good reasons. You mentioned queen e6. I'm actually considering the move D3, E2, E3 here because I'm not too sure how I would evaluate this. A queen on E2 is simply damn annoying.
Yeah, it is a very well placed piece. And also the C pawn might actually become an asset if you can start moving it up.
Yeah.
Knight to C5 might get into the position. So it becomes very unclear. Knight G4, good point.
Yeah,
looks scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. But on the other hand, after E2, E3 captures this pawn on C4, Black is ready. Well, first of all, he's grabbed a pawn, damn him, and he's ready to play Knight E5.
Knight
and say,
E5, maybe Bishop to D3 if
yeah,
need be.
I'm not going to let you win that pawn back easily. I'm just looking at the position after. What's your thought? Knight C7. So that if I can play Knight to C4, I'm a happy camper, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just wondering tactically, what's going on here?
Queen to G4, is that an option?
Okay, and I'll
Keeping the defense of the pawn alive.
Right, I'll tickle you with the move H2, H3.
And now I want to play Queen to E2.
And here I was trying to keep you out of E2.
I'm playing E3, doing everything, not to get my queen there.
And guess what?
Here I am again.
Bertha showed up. Okay. Let me take back my last blunder and play instead Bishop F1. How's that for a cute move?
Yes.
I still have my dreams.
I don't feel so comfortable still as white. First of all, Bishop to D3 is an option.
Okay. Bishop to D3. And now you can
I can go
back and now if I do end up capturing this pawn, you're going to take a no.
You do have Knight takes C4 here.
So you will actually have to take on C4. I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I'm not happy.
It seems that even though white has clearly better piece placement, black can create counterplay without having to use his rook.
Yes.
So that really explains to me why Richard is really having a good think here, because Queen takes D4, although it feels less natural, maybe he sees a better reaction here after, again, the logical C5. Or at least he wants to check if he has some sort of Queen F4 move or something. My first impression is, geez, this doesn't look like a big improvement at all, but it is maybe worth considering.
Actually, considering those other lines, the variations we were looking at, where Black's going Queen E2 and Queen G4, I'm more drawn to this position, because my Queen on A1 was not participating in those variations we're looking at. Here, if you do this, one of the things that I do like very much is that I've got such pretensions as just, I'm going like here, and on a good day I put my bishop on D5 and kind of sit on the position feeling happy about myself. Maybe the D pawn is
also a little weak.
Yeah, if I get to grab
C5.
The game feels like it's getting closer to a draw than to anybody's initiative, but again, I didn't see all of this counter-attacking ideas after Knight takes D4. This, again, as you say, Richie's in deep thought here as how to recapture on D4. It's kind of a challenge. What about this crazy idea? I rejected it, of course, because of C5. Okay.
That's the same reason I thought it wasn't the...
Yeah, but...
Knight to C4 is the move you'd love to play, but does it work?
I will play. Takes Knight E4.
Bishop E4, that looks like a bad move, right? Bishop takes E4.
Because then I take twice on D7?
Yeah.
Well, okay, first of all...
So Queen E6 is what I thought is...
the right.
Yeah, still the...
And I'm a pawn down, and I've got to prove it very, very quickly. Well, Black's happy.
Looks difficult for white again.
Yeah. So these are the challenges that Richie is facing.
In a seemingly calm position, a lot of tactics could just suddenly come to be, especially this line with Knight takes D4s.
Right.
It could start becoming a very sharp game.
Knight takes D4, C5. Where did we go?
Knight
b5, sorry.
Queen e6.
Knight b5, queen e6. It feels like I need a goodie here. You know?
It feels like there is a good move for white, actually.
Right.
But what is it?
Exactly. How about, drum roll, bishop f3?
Knight to e5.
No, I was thinking that if you took on c4, then I get the knight c7 variation.
And then you get your
setup.
Yeah, but knight
the
e5.
Knight e5.
Annoying.
You're very good at that. Do they teach that in the Dutch chess schools? You know,
a lot of tactics, a lot of active play. Yeah.
Find out what your opponent is doing and thwart his intentions as best you can. Queen e6. It does feel, again, like there should be something good, but okay. If white is not quick and decisively so, black's going to get a good position. I'm going to fall back on the queen takes d4. Somehow there's more safety here.
There's definitely more safety, I fully agree.
Yeah.
Knight to e5 seems like at least you're neutralizing whatever black initiative could be created in all the other lines. This is very safe.
Mm-hmm.
And if Richard is really continuing in the style that we've seen today, this is very likely to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If Richard switches back gears to Richard that we know,
right?
Then knight takes d4, knight b5 will happen, but he needs to have a move in that line we looked at. So, although at first sight it feels good for white, it's again Magnus. He doesn't lose control over position so easily, and maybe there's something in here for white, but it's not going to be a straightforward, easy play for Richard.
Exactly.
But so far, I must say his b3 has worked out,
quite
surprisingly well, and he now needs to find a way to carry on in the solid style, reducing his risk.
Exactly. Well, intriguing, challenging position for moment right here as to how we wanted to recapture the pawn on d4. It went like this. Robin and I were primarily focused on queen takes d4. Oops, let me turn off the auto update. Queen takes
C5?
d4. Yes. c5. We
Queen
were
F4,
looking
yeah,
queen f4. And if there was a trade and another trade, there was ideas,
e5.
of knight e5 and rook c7.
This is fine for white, yes.
Yes.
Sure. Maybe he's even better in the last page.
Precisely.
But after queen f4, maybe queen a6 is possible.
Queen takes d4, not queen f4, but queen e6 you're mentioning.
a6.
Queen a6.
Yeah, and get d4.
New variation. Queen a6. And then you want to play d5, d4? So for example, after rook e5...
Rook is in d4, yeah. Similar to what he got in the game, actually.
I see. Oh, pardon me, d4. I was wondering if you wanted to give me a check first, because I'm not sure. Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's a bit messy. I agree.
Yeah, well, good fun. I mean, also, I'm not... Oh, sorry. Let me take this one back.
What happened in the game, actually?
Yes.
After knight d4?
Well, what he did play knight takes d4, c5, knight b3,
d4.
d4.
I like bishop h3. It was like teasing black a bit. Queen a4, queen a3 in the area.
Yeah. Well, bishop h3. I like the long diagonal. I'm kind of a long diagonal guy myself. Queen a7, I don't know what that actually does or not. I'm not sure. Let us see how Richie played it. Bishop h3, d3. Okay, that's a bit of a surprise to me. And let me just update my board.
e3.
e3. Whoa.
I'm not sure about this.
I understand that the pawn is blockaded on d3, but that is a very, very powerful fast pawn. Magnus has gained a clear plus here.
I think so. 94 is coming next. Yeah, it looks a bit sad for white now. 94.
Oh, 94 is a real. I was about to make a suggestion of Queen A7, but I was thinking, okay, if I go Queen A7, I will hit the pawn on C5. But 94 really stopped me in my tracks.
Although it's still.
Let me update the players. Bishop back to G2.
It was
Stopping one idea that we just seen with 94. Oh, well, this is still a strategical game. But let's go to the game of Pavel Elyanov.
It was a very wild game.
Absolutely. And when yes. So now you're really warming up to your whole conception, and you're saying, well, again, your countryman, sorry to bring up the obvious name, Tigran Petrosian, is extremely famous for all of his exchange sacrifices.
Sure.
I mean, and...
But he sacrificed for much less than this.
Yeah, well, normally Petrosian's pawn would be on b2, and he would be a little bit happier about that. But this is working out splendidly.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe he can play this,
okay.
But knight g5, knight f6, takes. I thought that this is maybe his idea, just to meet bishop f4 with queen d4. Because bishop b8, queen c5, attacking two pieces.
Ah, thank you. So go ahead and show that. Bishop takes b8, queen takes c5. That's nice. You got g5.
I mean, I can also play this bishop f3, queen g5, bishop a7. It's also slightly better for white because I'll eventually play a4.
And the two b's will mean something. Yeah.
Or I don't have to play bishop f4.
No.
You want to take on f6?
Yeah, no, I wanted to take on a5. I'm a pawn grabber.
Yeah.
Did you consider that, or you just felt that you didn't need the a pawn?
You know, maybe at some point he'll play bishop b7, rook a8, bishop a6. Of course, it's not realistic, but I don't know. I thought that I should stick to my plan.
And control the game you did. Queen c4, king h8. Now you were sorry, I interrupted you. Now
yeah, I kind of calculated this queen d3 thing. And I felt it just wins. I mean, I allow him some... it seems that there is some jumping around, but not really.
No.
Because
by the way, I'm getting some incredible report that
wow,
Richie may be winning a piece against Magnus. The players are playing very, very quickly there. Okay, we're going to come back to that because you're just putting the final touches, the final season.
This actually reminded me of my game yesterday. I also had this bishop,
and this ugly
and the pawn was just promoting
on c8. Yeah. Well, it also kind of a little Anish. There was a game where Anish played bishop takes a6 against Ian, and there was a pawn that was just promoting. What is it about light square bishops right now? They seem to be having a flu. The light squared bishops here in Vaikamsai. It's not been a good tournament for the light squared bishops.
Here, of course, he had to play queen c7. Was the only move to prolong.
And what would have happened in that case? Queen c5, you're saying definite error.
Yeah, I mean, I have many good moves. Queen g6 is one, or queen g4 is another. I mean,
queen g4 threatening rook d7, queen g6 attacking the rook. It looks very good.
I don't know, maybe f5. So many ways to win, of course, from a position like this. But at least this would have been
his best chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is a forced loss. Because here and queen g6 and the bishop doesn't come out, so everything is lost.
Beautiful. Don't move. Don't move. I just want to get your insights. First of all, again, that was a masterclass. How can you go from... Okay, he worked hard for it. I mean, he's like, now he's supremely confident in coming to the game thinking, okay, nobody can beat me if Magnus can't checkmate me. But, okay.
Yeah, I mean...
Let's just see. Here we have it. A tweet. Fabi. Gary entombs his bishop on a8. That's on you, Levon. Carlsen puts his bishop on h7 and plays d3. Why isn't anyone thinking of their bishops?
It's a common trend. It happens. You know, Magnus had a long game yesterday, so and it's very difficult to play against Rapport because you never expect if he's going to play very creatively or normal like today.
Solid like he did today. Well, let's just
But
see
this
what
was a
happened.
great game on his part.
Yes. Let's just see what happened. The players, pardon me, had reached this position, and bishop h3 came, d3, e3. This is what Fabi, by the way, thank you for tweeting to us, Fabi. Fabi is saying, is Magnus Carlsen aware that he's entombing his bishop? Knight, bishop back, rook c8. Whoa. Uh-oh.
Well, it kind of looked
F4.
interesting, but yeah, now it's.
Ooh.
I think he missed f4. I think he
There
missed.
are issues, aren't there? And it looks like we have a result. Rook e8.
Wow.
Wow.
But
Magnus
this was
Carlsen.
a good game,
Definitely. Oh
especially
my.
this last part is really beautiful. Rook e1 takes and knight f1.
Oh my goodness. You're not just this bishop on h7, is a traitor. A traitor to the black king. Oh my goodness. And this is, I think, the final move. Knight f1 and resigns. Wow.
Some exciting games today.
Exactly. Well, there was so many drama. There was such drama yesterday. I like that tweet by Vishy. I don't know if you heard it. Vishy said,